10 days earlier, we see Elara sitting inside the trailer inside of the trailer park as she hears fighting going on outside. As she grabs her gun and walks out the door, we then see Mara and Ryder have been knocked out as we see the prey are just standing above them as she pulls out her weapon, but then we hear someone comes up behind her and says, "Long time no see," as she gets knocked out. A few hours later, we see her waking up in the woods. As we see some of these men are walking up to her, we see Mara and Ryder are now gone, and they are nowhere to be seen. The man walks up to her and says, "You're awake? Finally." Elara says, "Where's my son?" The soldier says, "Oh, he's at headquarters by now. Ragnar had quite the place for them. You, on the other hand, you're going somewhere else." Elara says, "Where are we going?" The man says, "Well, you have a wonderful place, not too far from here. Maybe, with you with us, they'll let us right into your beautiful Lincolnville." Elara says, "Well?" She headbutts the man to the ground as he then falls into the snow, as he then gets up and says, "Oh, yep, that's her, gentlemen. That is definitely her. All right, let's get moving." Out of nowhere, the men get shot down by a man with a gun as the blood splatters onto Elara's face. As we see Elara looks relieved and says, "Took you long enough, Hunter Pants." Hunter Pants helps her up and says, "Who are they?" Elara says, "A problem. A real problem. We better get back home. The clock is ticking, and we're on a timer here. Our life depends on it." We see them walking through the woods, as we then see the snow is starting to fall, and Elara says, "We gotta get back home. What the hell are you even doing out here?" Hunter says, "Been looking for you. You were gone longer than you'd said you'd be. I had a feeling something happened out there. Sure enough, I find you tied to a tree. Felt a little too damn familiar." Elara says, "Well, I'm glad you're here." They hear something walking up behind them as she says, "Did you bring more company?" We then see 4 more skull hunters behind them with weapons as they then see them from far, and Elara says, "Run." They then run as fast as they can as we see a house from far, as Elara says, "Come on, there, we can pin them in that way." Hunter says, "Smart thinking." As they then go inside the house, as we see them make it inside, as they push the couch up to the door and tie it shut, as we then hear these men banging on the door, as Hunter says, "We gotta either find a way out or find a way through these fuckers." We see these men with their weapons out at the door, as we then hear a growling sound behind them. We see a big black dog jumps one of them and starts ripping them apart. Hunter looks worried and says, "No." He opens the front door and shoots 2 of them with his handmade gun. Elara then stabs the other one in the belly and kicks him down, as Hunter then stabs the last one in the head. As we see him look at his dog and says, "Hey boy, are you okay? Hey, I told you to stay in the buggy." The dog barks and Hunter says, "Well, anyway, I'm glad you're here, boy." Oh shit. As they see, the guy Elara stabbed is still alive. Hunter says, "Yeah, let's put this wild animal down." Elara stops him and says, Not before he answers my questions. We're getting my son back. We see the Skull Hunter tied to a tree, as we see Elara and Hunter sitting on a log towards him. As we see Elara sharpening her knives as she says, "Well, it's been a while since I've done this. However you fuck with my family, you're fucking with me." The man says, "Oh, is that right? Hey lady, aren't you a little old to torture someone?" She stabs him in the leg as he screams. Elara gets up in his face and says, "That hurt, huh? Let's put it like this. You're gonna feel it every time, until eventually, there'll be so many holes in your leg, you're gonna beg me just to rip it off." The man says, "I'm not telling you a damn..." She stabs him again, and she says, "Now you hear me? I'm looking for my son, and he and some of the people I know were taken last night, and I'm getting them back. And you're gonna show me how I'm gonna do just that." The man laughs and says, "The only safe place is Wyoming, and yes, your son is with us. But only if he cooperates, he'll be alive. Look, you got a lot of fire left in you, and I can tell, but I don't have control of what happens, alright? We have separate places that we run in the general area, alright? And Lincolnville will fall under those locations soon enough." Elara says, "Alright." She pulls out a map and says, "Then you're gonna show me every location on this map that you people have." The man says, "You think I'm showing you?" She cuts off 2 of his fingers as he screams out and she says, "Show me, or I take another." He looks like he's in pain as Elara says, "Show me." I could do this all day here. Hunter's just standing there with his dog as Elara goes to cut another one of his fingers as he says, Okay, please don't do any more, okay? I'll tell you, please. I have a family. I have a wife. I have 3 kids. And they can't live without me, please. I'll show you, okay? Elara backs off and says, "Okay, then you understand that I can't live without my son. So, you're gonna show us every spot on this map where you people operate." We see Hunter circling several different places in the area, and Elara says, "Are those all?" The man says, "That's everything." Elara looks at Hunter and she says, "Okay." The man says, "So, can you let me go?" Or she stabs him in the neck as blood gushes out as she says, "All right, we know where to look." Hunter looks a bit put off and says, "Hey, Elara, what the hell was that?" He had a family," Elara says, "and a man like that would say anything. And even if he did, they're better off without a monster like him." Hunter says, "And what if his family is real? I mean, what do we do knowing that they're without their parent?" Elara looks at him and says, "Because it's not ours," as she just walks back into the house. We see Hunter and Elara walking through the house as Elara says, "We'll stay here tonight, head back by morning." Hunter says, "All right, I'll keep first watch." Elara goes upstairs and checks the rooms, as we then see a bloody bathtub with another dead Skull Hunter on the floor. As we see, it's the same house Jade was hiding in before. As we see Elara goes downstairs and says, "It's clear. We'll be fine here tonight." The next day, we see Elara Hunter and his dog are walking the roads. As we see tire marks in the mud. As we see 2 dead horses as they run up to this, and Hunter says, "They took our buggy. They killed our horses. Damn it." Elara says, "These people are poking the wrong bear. Come on, let's get back. We gotta figure out how we're gonna deal with this." Later that day, we see the sun going down as we see them walking through the woods, as we then see a big village in the distance on a hill, as they stand in front of it from far, as Hunter asks Elara, "You think they'll be ready to deal with something like this?" Damn it. Old man's gonna be pissed. Elara says, "No, but we're gonna do it anyway."